Ramadan is a month of fasting, but it is also a month of mercy. Many Muslim women enter Ramadan with a heavy heart, feeling guilty, confused, or even ashamed because they are unable to fast. They watch others fasting while silently asking themselves, "Am I less beloved to Allah?" But today, we need to correct this misunderstanding. Islam is not a religion of hardship. Allah Himself has made clear exceptions for certain women during Ramadan. In this reminder, we will talk about 6 categories of women who are excused from fasting based on the Qur'an and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, so that no believing woman feels distant from Allah because of what He Himself has permitted. Ramadan is not a month of hardship, it is a month of mercy. Allah did not prescribe fasting to break His servants, but to purify their hearts, strengthen their souls, and bring them closer to Him. From the very beginning of Islam, Allah made it clear that this religion is based on ease, compassion, and wisdom. Allah says in the Qur'an, Allah intends for you ease and does not intend for you hardship. Surah Al-Baqarah 295. Yet, many Muslim women live with guilt during Ramadan, thinking they are sinful or distant from Allah if they cannot fast. Today, we will talk about an important and often misunderstood topic, the 6 categories of women who are excused from fasting in Ramadan, and how this exemption itself is a mercy from Allah. First, let us remember a fundamental rule in Islam. When Allah gives a command, He also gives concessions. These concessions are not signs of weak faith. Rather, they are signs of Allah's deep understanding of His creation. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Indeed, Allah loves that His concessions be taken just as He loves that His commands be followed." This means that accepting Allah's permission is also an act of worship. The first category of women who are excused from fasting are pregnant women. Pregnancy is not a simple condition, it is a state in which a woman carries another soul inside her body. Islam recognizes the physical weakness, hormonal changes, and medical risks that may come with pregnancy. If a pregnant woman fears harm for herself or for her unborn child, she is allowed to break her fast. Scholars base this ruling on general Islamic principles and the verse where Allah allows those who are ill or traveling to make up their fasts later. Pregnancy is included in situations of hardship. Such a woman can make up the fast later when she is able, and she should never feel that she has disobeyed Allah. The second category is breastfeeding women. Nursing a child requires energy, nutrition, and physical strength. Islam values the life and health of the child as well as the mother. If fasting causes weakness, dehydration, or affects milk supply, then the woman is excused from fasting. The Prophet allowed women who were breastfeeding to leave fasting if there was fear of harm. Some scholars explain that if the fear is for the child, then fidyah may be given, and if the fear is for the mother, then qaza is required. This flexibility itself shows how Islam prioritizes mercy over hardship. The third category is women who are menstruating haid. This is a clear and unanimous ruling in Islam. A woman who is menstruating is not allowed to fast, and if she does, her fast will not be valid. This is not a punishment, it is a divine command. Aisha said, "When we menstruated during the time of the Prophet, we were ordered to make up the fasts, but not the prayers." This hadith shows that menstruation is a natural condition created by Allah, and Islam treats it with dignity, not shame. During this time, a woman remains rewarded for her intention and can engage in other acts of worship like dua, dhikr, and charity. The fourth category is women experiencing postnatal bleeding, nifas. After childbirth, a woman's body goes through a period of recovery. Islam does not burden her with fasting during this physically demanding time. Just like menstruation, fasting during nifas is not permitted. Once the bleeding ends and she regains strength, she can make up the missed fasts. This ruling reflects Islam's deep concern for the physical and emotional well-being of mothers. The fifth category is women who are ill or suffering from chronic or severe illness. Illness can weaken the body and delay healing. Allah clearly states in the Quran, "And whoever is ill or on a journey, then an equal number of other days." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:5. If fasting worsens a woman's condition, delays recovery, or causes serious harm, she is allowed to break her fast. If the illness is temporary, she can make up the fast later. If it is permanent, then she may give fidyah. Islam never demands worship at the cost of health. The sixth category is elderly women or those with extreme weakness. Old age brings physical limitations, and Islam honors the elderly by making religion easier for them. If an elderly woman is too weak to fast, and there is no hope that she will regain the strength to fast later, then she is not required to fast. Instead, she can feed a poor person for each missed fast. This is based on the understanding of the companions regarding the verse of fidyah. Even in old age, Islam provides a way to remain connected to worship. At this point, it is very important to address a common emotional struggle. Many women feel sadness or jealousy when they see others fasting while they cannot. But remember this: Allah rewards intention. If your heart desires to fast but your body cannot, Allah knows that. The Prophet said, actions are judged by intentions. A woman who accepts Allah's command with patience and gratitude may be rewarded equal to, or even more than, someone who is fasting without hardship. Now let us talk about a short dua for such women. O Allah, you are the most merciful. Accept our intentions even when our bodies are weak. Replace our missed fasts with your pleasure, our patience with reward, and our hardship with ease. O Allah, grant health to the sick, strength to mothers, and peace to every heart that feels distant from worship. Make us among those whom you forgive in Ramadan and free from the fire of hell. Finally, remember that Ramadan is not only about fasting. It is about sincerity, humility, and connection with Allah. If Allah has excused you from fasting, then accept His mercy with peace. Worship Him through remembrance, charity, kindness, and dua. Do not let shaitan convince you that you are less beloved to Allah. Allah's mercy is vast, and His understanding of your condition is perfect. May Allah allow us to understand His religion with wisdom, accept our worship, and make Ramadan a source of healing for our hearts. Before moving further, it is important to understand one deep Islamic principle. Allah never commands something that is beyond human capacity. Allah clearly says in the Qur'an, Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. Surah Al-Baqarah 286. This verse alone should remove every doubt and every feeling of guilt from the heart of a believing woman. If Allah Himself says that He does not burden a soul beyond its ability, then how can a woman think she is sinful for accepting an exemption given by Allah? Islam is a religion that recognizes the physical reality of women. Men and women are spiritually equal, but physically different, and Islam legislates with justice, not equality in form, but equality in mercy. The Prophet Muhammad never ignored the condition of women. In fact, he repeatedly advised the Ummah to be gentle with them. He has said, "The world is provision, and the best provision of it is a righteous woman." This hadith shows the honor Islam gives to women, not the burden. Returning to the issue of pregnancy and breastfeeding, scholars often mention the narration where the Prophet said, Allah has relieved the traveler of fasting and half of the prayer, and He has relieved the pregnant and breastfeeding woman of fasting. This hadith clearly places pregnant and nursing women among those whom Allah Himself has excused. This is not a scholar's opinion, it is a prophetic teaching. Therefore, any woman who fears harm while fasting should feel confident that she is following the Sunnah by not fasting. Regarding menstruation, Islam's ruling is not cultural but divine. The Prophet explained this with clarity when he said that a woman does not pray or fast during her menstrual cycle. This condition is not impurity of the soul, but a physical state decreed by Allah. Scholars explain that Allah lifts certain acts of worship during this time, but He does not lift reward. A woman who refrains from fasting because of menstruation is rewarded for obedience, not deprived. When we talk about post-natal bleeding, it is important to reflect on how Islam honors motherhood. Allah mentions the hardship of pregnancy and childbirth in the Qur'an. His mother carried him with hardship upon hardship. Surah Luqman 31:1-4. If Allah Himself mentions the difficulty of this stage, then the exemption from fasting is a continuation of divine compassion. Islam does not want a mother to choose between worship and recovery. It provides space for healing. As for illness, Islam does not glorify suffering for the sake of suffering. The Prophet said, "There should be neither harm nor reciprocating harm." This principle applies strongly to fasting. If a woman's illness increases due to fasting, then abstaining from fasting becomes an act of wisdom, not weakness. Many scholars emphasize that deliberately harming oneself in the name of worship is against Islamic teachings. Concerning elderly women, Islam's beauty becomes even more apparent. Ibn Abbas Yudos Nodindo explained that elderly people who cannot fast may feed the poor instead. This ruling allows them to remain connected to Ramadan even when physical strength is gone. Islam never disconnects a believer from worship, it only changes the form of worship according to ability. At this stage, let us pause and reflect on intention, because intention is the soul of worship. The Prophet said, "Whoever intends to do a good deed but cannot do it, Allah records it as a complete good deed." This hadith is extremely comforting for women who feel sadness during Ramadan. If your heart wants to fast, but your body cannot, Allah may still reward you as if you fasted. Now let us expand the dua section, because dua is the strongest weapon of a believer. O Allah, you are Al-Latif, the most gentle. You know the weakness of our bodies and the sincerity of our hearts. Accept our intentions when our actions fall short. O Allah, grant shifa to the sick, strength to the mothers, patience to the elderly, and peace to every woman who feels distant from fasting. Make this Ramadan a source of forgiveness, light, and closeness to you. Finally, we must remind ourselves and others that Ramadan is not a competition. It is a journey of the heart. Some worship through fasting, some through patience, some through care, and some through acceptance of Allah's decree. Every path is valid when it is guided by obedience and sincerity. Allah says, "Indeed, Allah is gentle with His servants." Surah Ash-Shura 42:9. This gentleness is seen clearly in the rulings of fasting for women. Accept Allah's mercy with peace, because rejecting His concession can sometimes be a form of arrogance, while accepting it is a form of humility. May Allah allow us to understand His religion correctly, remove guilt from sincere hearts, and make us among those who benefit fully from Ramadan, whether fasting or not. Ameen.